Everyone wants freedom. Freedom from stress, freedom from pressure, freedom from responsibility, freedom from expectations. People say, I just want to be free. But very few people stop to ask, free from what? Free to do what? And free at what cost? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Freedom is not the absence of responsibility. Freedom is the ability to choose your responsibility consciously. In this final chapter of MindShift Season 1, we're going to talk about real freedom. Not the idea, not the fantasy, but the psychological reality. Welcome back to MindShift. Most people imagine freedom as escape. Escape from work, obligation, pressure, accountability. But psychology shows something important. Escape doesn't create freedom. It creates avoidance. When you avoid responsibility, you don't feel free. You feel anxious. Because something inside you knows, I'm running from something I haven't faced. Avoidance feels light at first. Then it becomes heavy. Modern life offers endless choices. What to do, who to be, where to go, what path to take. And yet, people feel more confused than ever. Psychology calls this choice overload. When you have infinite options, decision-making becomes stressful. Commitment feels risky. Regret increases. Freedom without structure doesn't liberate you. It overwhelms you. The nervous system needs boundaries, not control, but containment. When everything is possible, the mind spins, the body stays alert. The fear of wrong choice increases. That's why people delay decisions. That's why people stay stuck. That's why people say, I don't know what to do with my life. It's not lack of freedom. It's too much freedom without responsibility. Most people hear the word responsibility and feel pressure. But responsibility isn't punishment. Psychologically, responsibility creates structure, direction, meaning, stability. When you choose responsibility, anxiety reduces, energy focuses, identity stabilizes. That's why people often feel calmer when they commit, even to difficult things. Responsibility grounds the nervous system. People don't avoid responsibility because they're lazy. They avoid it because responsibility exposes fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. Responsibility makes outcomes personal, and that's scary. So people say, I'm just waiting. I'm figuring things out. I'm not ready yet. Sometimes that's true. Often it's avoidance dressed as patience. Doing whatever you want is impulse. Impulse feels free until consequences arrive. Real freedom is self-regulation, the ability to say, I won't do this even if I can. I'll do this even if it's uncomfortable. That capacity is psychological maturity. Freedom without self-regulation leads to chaos. Freedom with self-regulation leads to peace. Every choice you make teaches your nervous system, this is who I am. Not big choices, small, repeated ones. Do I avoid or engage? Speak or stay silent? Act or delay? Identity isn't declared, it's practiced. And responsibility is what makes choice meaningful. Blame temporarily relieves discomfort. If it's the system, the economy, my past, other people, then I don't have to act. But blame keeps you powerless. Responsibility restores agency. Not control over everything, but control over response. That's real freedom. Here's a grounding question. Instead of asking, what do I want? Ask, what responsibility am I willing to carry consistently? Not forever, not perfectly, just honestly. The answer brings clarity. A free life is not easy. It often includes chosen effort, meaningful pressure, clear boundaries, ownership of outcomes, But it also includes self-respect, stability, direction, inner calm. Freedom feels boring to immature minds. It feels grounding to mature ones. Freedom is not something you wait for. It's something you practice. Every time you choose responsibility over avoidance, awareness over impulse, ownership over blame, you become freer, not dramatically, not instantly, but reliably. If you've made it through all these chapters, you're no longer looking for shortcuts. You're learning how the human mind actually works. That awareness is freedom. Welcome to the end of MindShift, Season 1, and the beginning of a more conscious life. If this season helped you think more clearly about yourself and your life, subscribe for future seasons exploring psychology, behavior, and human freedom.